have Thursday Night Football. Your Cincinnati Bengals take on the Cleveland Browns from Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati.
This is definitely the 7-0 Bengals versus the 2-6 Browns. The Bengals should be able to win this one. They should be able to pull it out and improve to 8-0. Dalton's needs to perform like he has all year, so I think the Bengals win this one 31-16.
Yeah, the Browns have had Dalton's number in the past. I believe you said Dalton had a 2 quarterback rating last year against the Browns.
On Thursday night.
So, look, really important for Dalton to get past this Browns team who's had his number. Dalton has made some serious strides this year, but next step is definitely beating the Cleveland Browns. You wouldn't think that would be that hard of a task.
No.
I mean, they're 2-6. They've had some tough losses, including a tough overtime loss to Denver. They really struggle to stop the run. I think that's one area where Cincinnati can exploit them.
Yeah, definitely. And also, Dalton has a 29.6 QBR against the Browns in his career, so that definitely needs to get better. But the good news is, tonight for the Browns, they're without Joe Hayden, which helps me out because A.J. Green is usually on Joe Hayden, so I expect A.J. Green to have a big game as well.
Yeah, A.J. Green has been phenomenal. I mean, he's in the top 5 receivers, in my opinion, at least at this point. Maybe even top 3. You look at some of the playmakers they have, though, between Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Jeremy Hill, Giovanni Bernard, even their fullback, Ryan Hewitt, who can pass block well and pass protect. That's something actually the Bengals have been really good at. And give Dalton credit, though, for making those throws. But he has a really quick release. That's something he's improved on from years past.
Yeah, he has definitely worked on his release. He gets the ball out a lot more quicker, so therefore he has very few turnovers as a result.
A big storyline going into this game is quarterback Johnny Manziel getting the call in replace of Josh McCown, who I believe is injured and will not be suited up for this one.
Yes, Johnny Manziel will be starting. And last year, when Johnny Manziel started against the Bengals in Cleveland, the Bengals won 30-0. So
yeah, I remember that game. Manziel fell into all sorts of trouble early in the game. I mean, they got into a few 3rd and longs, and then that game was over.
Yeah.
Manziel this year, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dalton, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The points per game, Cleveland scores just 20.9 points per game. Cincy, 28.3. Big difference there in points.
Definitely is a big difference, and I think Cincinnati's defense is much improved also from last year when they had all the injuries on defense. So, I mean, the Bengals, this one, they should win tonight. They should improve to 8-0, and honestly, I think if they win this game tonight, I think the AFC North is wrapped up for the year.
Really?
Yes, I think it's already over.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, especially if the Steelers lose to my Oakland Raiders. But look, the Browns are really susceptible up front. Inside runs can exploit them. Rookie defensive tackle Danny Shelton has seen his fair share of struggles this year. When you look at the roster up front, you'd expect them to be better than they are, but specifically on inside runs. But you have guys like Randy Starks on the outside, Desmond Bryant, Paul Kruger. You have all these names, but they're not necessarily playing to an elite or even a good level. Even Paul Kruger has seen his fair share of struggles this year, only recording half of a sack. They're going to have to get after Andy Dalton, make him feel uncomfortable, do things that teams haven't done a great job of doing. Although, give the Steelers credit last week, they recorded a few sacks on Dalton. They were in his face. The Steelers do have a good front four. The Browns need to apply pressure. That's going to be one of the big keys in this game. They just came off. Both teams are off short weeks. The Browns a tough loss to the Cardinals. The Bengals coming off that victory to the Steelers. That was a good victory that they needed. The Bengals have to continue the momentum.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely have to continue the momentum. It was very tough last week for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was blitzing an awful lot in the game. So I think that's what maybe got Dalton a little bit scared. I believe the Steelers had 3 or 4 sacks against Dalton. So the Browns, as you said, they're going to need to definitely apply pressure to him.
The Browns have allowed 15 passing touchdowns this year. That's as many as Andy Dalton has all year. He's doing a great job picking apart secondaries. I would expect him to do the same thing this year, or this game, especially without star cornerback Joe Hayden. He'll be replaced by Pierre Desir and Justin Gilbert, who has been playing in a limited role this year.
Yeah, I'm going to say tonight Dalton goes a touchdown pass to A.J. Green, and I'm also going to say he goes a touchdown pass to Tyler Eifert, who did not get any red zone targets last week against the Steelers, but he has 6 touchdowns already this year, does Eifert. So
and the Browns have given up 6 touchdowns to opposing tight ends. I would agree with you. Look for tight end Tyler Eifert to get involved early and often, especially on some of those routes where they can send him up the seam when they have man coverage, and when the Browns will try to apply pressure for what they have, but what they have is not much.
Well, they do a lot of seam routes to Tyler Eifert, and most of the time he catches them. So this is definitely, I love having him back. This is definitely a big improvement. Marvin Jones, it's good to have him back. So it'll be good tonight to see what happens. But, I just think the Bengals right now, people are honestly saying that they're the most complete team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I would think so too. They're right there with New England. I would take defensively. I would take the Bengals. But as for this Browns team, if they want to get the W tonight, they need a solid performance from Johnny Manziel. Excuse me, not even solid. They're going to need a top-notch performance. Satisfactory is not going to get it done. They're going to need something big for him. The Browns have been way too one-dimensional as far as passing goes. They need to get some running attack involved in their offense. When you look as a team, they're averaging just 3.4 yards per carry. Crowell, Johnson, and Robert Turbin, their 3 main running backs, have averaged just 3.2 yards. Between the 3 of them, they only have 1 rushing touchdown all year. This has been a pretty good team for the Bengals, doing a good job stopping the run, especially when you got guys like Michael Johnson on the outside, Carlos Johnson on the outside, and Geno Atkins in the middle.
Yeah,
definitely. Talk about this, elaborate on this. The big return of Vontaze Burfict last week, he recorded 5 tackles, already getting back into business.
Yeah, this is definitely a big step on defense. We needed this guy back. Carlos Dunlap leads the team in sacks with 6.5. So, I like what he's been able to do. And yeah, Vontaze Burfict. A lot of people got mad at him for injuring Le'Veon Bell, but
it's part of football. I don't think it was a dirty play. I think it was just part of the game.
Yeah, it was. It was part of the play, and it was just part of the game. But it's good to have him back, and I'd love to see tonight the Bengals pull out this W, especially being an in-state rival as the Cleveland Browns are.
Yeah, I like them to get the job done. I'm going to go 24-13 Bengals.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 31-16.
As you mentioned. Yeah, well, as you mentioned earlier, it's too much to ask for from Johnny Manziel. As I mentioned, satisfactory performance isn't going to get it done against this Bengals defense. They're going to need help from the running game. The Bengals have done a great job all year stopping the run. Brian Hartline's inactive. So is Andrew Hawkins. Dwayne Bowe's going to need to step it up. A big acquisition in free agency from Kansas City. He hasn't done anything. He's had 0 receptions this year. Look for them to get him involved, but Dwayne Bowe alone isn't going to be enough for the Browns to pull this one out.
Yeah, I really don't get why he hasn't been involved. I'm really honestly curious about that.
Well, he's been inactive for most of the season. He has not played much. But look, Browns struggling football team, not going to get it done this week. Logan, thank you for coming on the show. That'll wrap it up for the Matt Kern Show, our Thursday night preview for the Bengals and the Browns.